Welcome, everybody, to live stream number 10.
We're the Water Street Blues Band, and this is Talkin About
Welcome,
Live,
everybody,
coming
to
at you
live stream
every
number
Wednesday
10.
at 9 p.m. We're the Water Street Blues Band, and this is Talkin About Live,
Everybody,
coming at you
We're
gonna be
every
playing-
Wednesday at 9 p.m. We're the Water Street
We're going to
Blues
be
Band.
producing some vintage vinyl this week. We're going to have some new audio from the band. We're going to be playing some live stuff in the studio here. And we have two very special guests from the Shooz on the show, Frank and Tom. And finally, we're going to get to this bass segment that I've been working so hard on, Sylvia.
You spent this whole last week developing
Okay.
content for
Yeah.
this segment, so we can hardly wait, Paul.
We're looking forward
I've
to it.
accumulated 2 seasons worth of content on bass playing, and therefore I do suggest that we do an all bass stint
Oh, it's sure to happen. It's sure to happen. Anyway,
moving forward.
here we
Good
are.
to
Hi,
see you
everybody.
guys.
Hope everybody's doing well. I'm Rob. I'm the guitar player in the Water Street Blues Band, and over here...
I'm Sylvia. I play keys and squeeze, accordion, that is.
And I'm Paul. I'm Rob's personal industrial designer and accountant. And I play bass for the band.
Well, here we are.
Welcome to the show.
Very
Great to see you guys.
We have some special guests.
We want to say thanks to everybody this is our 10th episode. We can't believe we've done this 10 times in a row. But we're so thrilled that a lot of you have been with us since day one, and several have joined the ride a little later. But welcome, and thank you guys for sticking with us. We're going to keep going.
It's been really easy for me because I've pre-recorded all of my parts. I did it all in one day
Sure.
at the beginning of the season. And therefore, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
No, you played the wrong tape. You rolled the wrong segment of tape.
My brother, I don't have a brother, Rob. That's interesting that you asked that question.
Well, I wonder if Paul's ready to go through his vast vinyl collection at this point. That's a good recording.
Paul, you've got your tapes are all screwed up. You've got to get it all
Oh,
resorted.
wait, we're here already. Oh,
This
so
is my favorite part, Sylvia. Fluffy, unleash hell. We've got a great lineup, folks, tonight.
Oh.
So this is
You talk about this one. This is a very unique piece.
It's a very special record. This is by one of the members of the Cast Iron Potty Band. He actually went rogue. He threatened to quit because we weren't paying him enough, and he said his instrument wasn't appreciated sufficiently. So it's Durf Snickwad's Washboard Hits. So, of course, Durf Snickwad is the ever-popular Fred Dawkins, the washboard player, kazoo player, jug player of the Cast Iron Potty Band. And on this record, there are several really lovely songs, including Stairway to Heaven. So you better read some of these.
On the washboard.
It's a wonderful song done, especially when it gets to the really dramatic part. It gets to the washboard solo. He just really rips it. And, of course, the title track and the track that everybody requests is My Love Lives Over the Border, but Last Night She Came Across.
Okay, let's move on. It's a good one. Yeah.
What's his stage name again?
Durf Snickwad.
Hi, Durf.
Okay.
Oh, this is part of a vast collection you have, Paul.
Yeah, well, this is an obsession that I have, which is the interface, that really skinny interface between Star Trek and the world of music, and Leonard Nimoy's, gateway into that whole world of music. Sure. I think this is fascinating that they thought they could merge this thing out. And therefore, I've got a number of albums related to him in this. And if you listen to these things, they're pretty good, actually. I got to say, I think I was conceived with one of these records.
Art is art. Art is art.
Oh,
Yeah.
By the way, Miss Angel just wished you Merry Christmas, Paul, and said that you should actually check the dosage on the medications that you're taking.
There's another one here.
Rob, great job on that song. Thank you.
This one's more contemporary.
So let's go to the next record.
Yeah, here you go.
This one is this actually. I've got a prompter in the background. What's the episode where they land on that planet? and everything is beautiful with the rabbit.
Okay.
It's the beautiful rabbit planet.
Yeah, I forget what it's called now. Anyway, that's what this is about. This is a record about Leonard Nimoy as Spock in love.
The touch of Leonard Nimoy. I should say these ones I've researched the value. You know that I do
Usually
research. This one's worth $100.
Well, usually when Spock touches you, you collapse to the ground.
Whoa, good point.
Yes. I'm going to do a little PowerPoint presentation for everybody right now. And this one is the two sides of Spock, the left side and the right side. This is a political record. And the left side, you can see he's a Vulcan. So all lefties are Vulcans, and all, the evil side are the humans.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Okay, next.
2/3 of the people here are left-handed, but that's not. This is a 45, if I'm not mistaken.
This takes some doing. Like I can imagine saying to my friend Tom, "Hey Tom, let's take the streetcar to Sam the Record Man and get the new Spock 45." That's what losers would do in the early 70s.
Well, that's a hint of the future. Now the A side is If I Had a Hammer, and the B side is Sunny. So
my friend Tom, who we're going to meet later on, he and I got this 45, and we brought it back, and we were drooling over the cover.
You could only play it on a tricorder, though.
This thing is gutsy. You got to say this is gutsy. It breaks a lot of laws with Hanna-Barbera, or whoever was the producer for that show.
It is gutsy.
Oh, it doesn't stop, Paul.
This is the parallel to the Revolver cover. Mm-hmm. So that's what's interesting to me about this, and that's why I bought it, is because of that connection between Spock and the Beatles.
Right.
And again, there's that weird intersection, right? That everybody understands, like I do, right?
Of course.
Of course.
Well, this is one of the more highly valued albums here.
Well, this was a mistake. They changed their mind after, because by doing this, he revealed that the scenes of the Enterprise were fake, and this is the model they used. And so this was a controversial type of situation, I think. I don't know anything about it,
that's
but
actually
I've got a narrative.
It's actually a
true.
Zildjian drum cymbal painted silver.
It kind of breaks the spell, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, that was sort of, we probably have more Leonard Nimoy for another show, but this one's very special.
You know what? Over the whole season, the anger has been building up to a point now where I am fed up with this situation.
This is our first record, Paul.
This is take a break.
This is vintage Water Street. This is our first record that we've re-released digitally a month ago.
And you have it in your collection. Well, it's not vinyl.
Well, I don't know. We thought the cover was fabulous.
And it's re-released now digitally, so you can hear the whole thing. Right? Does that make you happy, Paul? Doesn't?
Yeah, it does. It's great. It's the cash flow.
Wait a minute.
That counts. See, this is now this week I gave up. I didn't do anything this week. I have done all the past things. This is disrespectful. This is a complete lack of respect.
I don't know. Maybe Fluffy infiltrated your
I don't know, Paul. You got to stop taking those hormones. They're really not working for you.
Yeah, no, this is disrespect.
Oh, no, it's true. It's this one here.
Yeah.
It was a way to multiply the effect of Paul, I guess, huh?
Well, I have a wide head, and this really emphasizes the water retention.
Well, for all you Douglas Adams fans out there, Paul was proposing in his best Zaphod Beeblebrox pose for that album cover.
Okay.
Happy Easter, Bob.
Oh, this one is a major collectible right here.
Yeah.
kind of.
Does anybody know this one?
Well,
you can write into the show.
This one.
Let's see who actually writes into the show. Sergeant Pepper's.
Right, and well, this one is special. It's actually worth
comment shaming.
It has all the signatures of the Beatles on it, and it's
on the Odeon label, which was I think it was the French or German. It was the German label that the Beatles used. It was a subsidiary of Parlophone Records.
Now, if you happen to own,
there's also a theater on Danforth, the Greek Odeon Theater,
and Winnipeg.
And if you happen to own it, it's actually worth more than 500,000 Canadian dollars. So that's good to
Wow.
know. Yeah.
Well, with
Yeah,
all
it's-
4 signatures,
Yeah.
it's priceless.
Another is that the Beatles?
No, it's not the Beatles. It's our guests.
Ooh.
It's the
Yeah, so
Shooz.
we're going to introduce them later, but these we've brought 2 of the original members of the band, Frank and Tom, on the show, and this is our first record. We're going to talk about this a little bit later on. Frank has his own spin on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Let's move on.
so
This is when
this happened
This
to
is
the
going
Shooz
to create
too.
a
Paul
problem
went.
later on with the guests because this is a project I undertook after breaking up with my
Yeah.
original band,
Yeah.
the Shooz.
Uh-huh.
And this was a Greek Easter project.
I can hear them. We can hear them all the way from the green room right now.
Yeah. No, that was
It's a
It's a seasonal
cultural
thing.
reference. No, you know what? I think we've. Well, that was it for our vintage vinyl this week, and it's exciting that we're going to be able to meet our guests pretty soon.
Well, why
Yeah.
don't we play some music? Is it a good time for us to play a tune or two?
Sure. Why don't we do that first? Good idea.
Who's going to go first, us or Paul, Sylvia?
I don't know. We'll have to draw straws or something.
Why don't we go first?
Sure, we will. Let's do
Yeah.
that.
So in honor of the Shooz, we relearned a song we've been playing for fairly recently. The Beatles Come Together. When we used to play it, we played it pretty straight, so we decided to rearrange it a little bit and play it backwards.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You come on flat top, he come grooving up slowly. He got choo-choo eyeball, he one holy roller. He got head down to his knees. Got to be a joker, he just do what he please. He wear no shoe shine, he got tall jam football, he got monkey finger, he shoot Coca-Cola. He said, I know you, you know me. One thing I can tell you is you've got to be free. Come together right now over me. He back production, he got motor gun boot, he got old no sideboard, he won spinal cracker, he got feet down below his knee. Hold you in his arms, how you can feel his disease. Come together right now over me. He roller coaster, he got early warning, he got mud water, he won mojo filter. He said 1 and 1 and 1 is 3. Got to be good looking 'cause he's so hard to see. Come together
was great.
All right.
Thanks for doing that in honor of the Shooz.
Yeah.
We never played that song.
That's why we picked it.
Yeah.
We didn't want to be.
We tried to play that song. But we only had one guitar pick. That's why I have this obsession with guitar picks. It comes from a deep trauma. With that band. We could only afford one guitar pick.
Are you out of picks?
That's why, Rob, I need a guitar pick.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, well,
I need the red one.
Okay, here you go.
Thanks, man.
Is that
Give
it?
me a kiss, Sylvia, before I play.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's good.
Sylvie, me too. It's one of my favorite songs in the world. We should actually start doing that.
And you did play that with the Shooz, I think, too.
Was that a Shooz
I
too?
bought that car in 1974. That's a great story you just told.
Okay, so who's this week's guest, Paul?
Well, I can't remember right offhand, but these are my two brothers, my two lifelong friends, my partners, next in line under my children and wife, and that sort of thing. These guys have been around for a long time. We've got tonight with us. I've selected Tom Seliotis, Athanasios, as he's known in his internet presence, who is our lead guitar player and singer, and he's joining us from his home rather than his office, because it would be weird if he was working at night. And Frank is right there as well. Below Tom, Frank was our lead singer and our rhythm guitar player and kind of creative director all through our lives. So welcome to the show, guys. Frank Naccarato and Athanasios Seliotis.
Give it up for the Shooz.
Good evening.
So good to see you
It's an
guys.
honor to have you on the show. We've known
Thank
each
you.
other for more than 100 years.
Yeah.
Combined.
If you add it up.
Yeah.
2 reincarnations, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great to see you guys. We talk a lot on the phone, but for you to join us on the show brings back a lot of great memories for me, a lot of traumatic experiences involving dating.
Yes.
But it's great to have you on the show tonight, and we'd like to share some memories with the group
Sure.
and how you led me to this moment in my life, I guess. So Frank, tell us about how we got together.
No, I've decided to change the agenda a little bit.
We're getting Fluffy's already with the
Frank,
visual
Frank,
aids.
Frank, Frank,
Be running around that rabbit wheel really hard tonight.
Frank.
So
Before,
I'm going to tell you a little bit about
Okay.
Frank. Frank is an engineer during the day. He's also an inventor, and he's a rocket scientist. Literally, he's an aerospace engineer. And Tom is
And a crime
is a
fighter at
teacher.
night.
Yeah, and so Frank hijacked the show for the evening, and he's prepared a multimedia presentation, and he's going to present it to you in an engineer's fashion, and it's going to be very efficient.
And here we go.
Thanks for those first words,
Headlines
Paul.
and everything.
And so here we are. Yeah, this is first of all, thanks for having us on. This is really an honor. And when I heard what the theme was going to be, I spent a couple of minutes putting together something very quickly about the background.
All of
This is
August.
actually our 40th anniversary, believe it or not, if you count properly, from 1980. Shooz celebrating their 40th anniversary, which is hard to imagine. But when we put this all together, really what it comes down to, it's the story of Paul, because we're putting it in the Water Street context.
it's always
See,
about
Rob?
Paul. It's
So-
always about Paul.
Again.
Again,
Yeah.
enough of Paul.
Yeah.
I've had it.
No, keep going, Frank. Keep talking. Sounds good to me.
The Shooz were Paul's first band, and Water Street will likely be his final band.
It was
And
my plagiarism of the Beatles.
yeah, and this is all about the trajectory from how Paul became Paul, and then going on to become the character that you'll know as Paul.
Mhm.
And we all know that.
I was reaching for my bong.
This is when you went into hyperspace last week. Believe it or not, our friendship has spanned 57 years, which is incredible. It kind of look from the looks of us, but you might ask, how can it span 57 years when we're only 56? I haven't answered that question. I put together this timeline, and if
Oh wow.
maybe Paul and Tom can explain a little bit. They actually met before they were born, and it's not a joke. Tom, can you explain a little bit more about that?
Our mothers were pregnant at the time, and I believe Paul's parents won a camera or something at some dance, and my parents delivered it, and then they touched bellies, and the rest is history.
I actually have a picture of your mother and my mother, both pregnant, with the camera, which I'll share with the audience. We'll focus the show around it.
One of our upcoming shows about
So
bass.
if this weren't coincidental enough, we found out later we were all born during that time span, that very narrow time span of the Beatles' appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Wow.
What are the odds?
What
Tom,
are
You
the
were
odds?
born during the hour of the Ed Sullivan Show.
That's right. All three of us share that birth hour.
That means that our parents were swingers together.
Well,
Immigrant swingers in
we
Toronto.
can fill in the blanks. Another actual fact is Paul and I lived on the same street without knowing each other for the first 4 or 5 years of our lives. Riverdale in Toronto, and
Yes.
we likely passed each other and scowled, but we never knew each other.
From your strollers?
We never had a stroller. We couldn't afford a stroller. Sylvia, what are you talking about?
I thought there was a zoo on Riverdale.
We were dragged. Well, that's what we called it. Yeah. Tom and
Mom,
I
it's raining. Here's a black garbage bag. Wear this.
That's a true
we met in
story.
the 70s, and then by the time the end of the 70s rolled out, we pulled Paul and Bill into our circle, and the rest is Shooz history. This is actual photographic proof. If you go back one, that we actually shared a class. That was the longest hair I've had since birth. Actually,
Since birth.
Yeah.
Paul had the rolliest jeans.
The
of
rolliest
anybody,
jeans. Those are in style.
Yeah, back in style. So I've been thinking about what's the essential.
Look how chiseled my jaw looks.
Look at that. It's very
I like to
special.
ask the audience
Looks
to
like-
agree.
it looks like
Please
a nut-
press like, hit like.
Your
My
earlobes are being
jaw
pulled
isn't
apart. Your
incredible.
earlobes are being pulled apart by fishing line. But the essential question of this is, how did these delusional nerds think that they could actually play live Beatles music in front of their entire high school in the early 80s? Because you gotta remember what this is all about. It's really about how to impress girls, and we had this theory that 16-year-old girls in 1980 loved the Beatles,
Aw.
right? Yeah. How true is that, Tom?
Not so much.
No, not really. No.
Yeah, to put it in context, like, we did everything in life to try to get the attention of girls, and this is about the success rate that we had. We weren't in the A group.
The
Here?
headstands should have worked.
It should have worked. You would think, sophisticated
Especially
girls.
because we were the same height back then.
They like headstand. Again, further context. This is our school, East York Collegiate, around 1980, and
Big
this
shout out to the other grads from East York Collegiate tonight, if any of you are watching.
this is like a wishboard describing what it was like in high school, 1980 East York Collegiate. By the way, the only high school in Ontario sanctioned to go up to grade 14.
Okay, that's
So
all.
We could have gone the easy road with the mullet and the Trans Am.
No, that
But,
was the Davis
no.
years.
Yeah, it was a choice between the Beatles and Whitesnake, and we chose the Beatles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you can see that.
the other thing that is important to understand, how we approached this was our style choices. First, the Adidas gym bag, ubiquitous. Before knapsacks, everything was carried in an Adidas gym bag. Everything. How much is your weigh, Tom? Usually?
75 pounds.
Yeah, that's why your shoulders are permanently.
That's why. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And you'd
I
know
think
when
that
they were
exposed my
about to
colors there
go.
too.
You'd know when they were
And
just about to break.
Anything in the shade of brown was in our palette.
Uh-huh.
And, Sylvia, I heard that one of the first things women notice is the shoes that men wear. We chose anything that was brown, ugly, and clunky.
Okay.
That was our running thing. Paul
But
wore
practical.
throughout high school those Roots shoes that made you feel like you're walking uphill.
There was a lawsuit
Yeah.
with those.
Oh,
Tom wore
the
a
earth
Boston belt
shoes.
buckle the size of a dinner plate.
They were earth shoes.
Yeah.
They
And
increased
he-
varicose veins by 20%.
Beige corduroy, anything beige, matching top and bottom was on choice. And Tom wore he was actually advanced for the time. He got these transitional lenses that, in theory, was supposed to change from clear to opaque in sunshine. But what happened, Tom?
They got stuck in the middle, so that I always had shades on. So they were useless in broad sunlight, and I couldn't see inside.
And then you looked sleazy, and you were only 17,
Oh.
Yeah.
and you already
Yeah,
looked sleazy.
you'll see in the movie. That's a good example.
Yes, we've got.
We also were at the forefront of dietary theory. We advocated the all carb diet. So Scott's Chicken Villa near the collegiate, every day this is all we ate, and that gave us the physique and brain power that we have right
They
now.
had that special protein reducing recipe.
Oh,
So here's just a bit of the cultural influences that Paul has already referenced. Star Trek. We could spend 3 shows on that alone. Professor Kitzel, for those of you who remember.
Mhm.
Anybody in the audience remember Professor Kitzel? Do a shout out.
Yeah,
But the
that's-
Beatles were central and that's what eventually drove us to.
And the Flintstones, that explains a lot too about the various.
The Flintstones does explain a lot.
It really explains a lot of the guilt, and that particular image that Frank chose is my favorite image of Fred, and you can hear tuba music in the background. That's pure guilt.
That
tuba music. That's significant.
Scene where he gets caught at something and he's terrified. Yeah, and
what do we have
the
here?
tuba music is what his guts sound like.
Yeah, just be quiet, Silver. Listen to this.
So, at the end of junior high, we actually were again so advanced. Creatively, we incorporated. EPD became our. It was like Andy Warhol
thing
in East York. And this is a characters I drew of the founding members, and we actually were performers in junior high. We wrote and performed stage plays, and we also got into filmmaking.
Yeah.
Tom, what were those two plays?
Superman and Star Trek.
The Greek Star Trek.
Greek Star Trek. Yes.
If you notice, Paul
what would have happened if Spock was Greek and went through Pong Far? A horny Greek Spock. That's basically the premise that we did for junior high. Oh, sorry, for high school.
That's right. I forgot that.
Yeah.
That was soft
That's
porn.
awesome.
Pretty
High
advanced.
school porn.
Pretty advanced.
So we call our projects pretty non-descriptive names. So this was the science fiction. We had laid out. These are concept art that we produced for what we called the science fiction, the movie that we dreamt of making as a group, which we costed out in $1979 would cost $150 million. Mm-hmm. And somehow we were going to convince producers in Hollywood that a bunch of 15-year-olds could make it.
Goddamn funding.
No plot, no script.
No, just
nothing,
art.
But
just like Star Wars.
That was before grants.
Or Seinfeld.
So we actually, because we're on the spectrum, we've archived everything of our history, and we actually have samples of our work in the film department. So if Fluffy can cue that up,
yeah, let's do that.
Let's
do that.
This is Super 8, guys.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to this.
Super 8.
This is super embarrassing.
Okay.
Yeah.
23 films. Wow.
These are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible.
23 2-minute films.
Yeah.
Again, we called everything by its generic name. This is the Western. You can tell we spent 15 cents on set decoration.
Back in the hood.
Paul wore those cougar boots throughout junior high and high school.
Winter and summer, by the way. Those are Golden Horse jeans.
Well, they're the glasses. Those are the Tom glasses.
Those are the ones that got stuck.
They got stuck midway.
That was epic. The acting was. Oh, there's more.
Yeah, there's plenty more.
Yeah, there's 23
This is
of
actually
these.
the first version.
Are we showing all 23?
No, the other 21 were lost in a horrible laundry accident.
Look closely. I didn't have to look closely to know that was Paul. He still wears that dress.
That's
I
a
don't know what
lawsuit.
possessed this.
Look at that's a lawsuit.
Tom's dad.
That's a lawsuit.
Closet for some reason. I don't know why we did that. Why we did
The
that.
lighting is the best, eh?
Paul begged us to do this in drag. We didn't want to have him in drag, but he begged us.
Well.
That's a French horn
and
case.
through your
What do we do
blanket.
with a French horn case?
Todd didn't even play
idea.
French horn. How'd you get the
No,
French
I didn't.
horn? That was Johnson's. He was
So
over
you were
visiting.
thrown out.
Oh,
you, were
that's right, yeah.
you were thrown out
The
for
story
doing
twist.
poorly in math. Just to review this.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what we had two completely different stories, if you can call them that, and we merged them together. We just wanted to get
I'm wearing beige
Keep
cords.
it up. Yeah.
Beige chords and clunky shoes. That's
You know
it.
what's nice about the beige chords is the noise.
So we didn't have an ending. And Paul, the car that Paul was hiding behind disappeared, and he's trying to find it where it went. And that's it. Those are the only surviving Shooz complete works, except for the outtakes.
Now, for young
Yeah,
people,
okay.
you said you had a little film left, and film was a physical thing that could run out. So this is what you had left to use up. Excellent.
That
That's
was
all we have.
that was epic. I think that award season's come right around the corner. I think you should resubmit. It's probably
I think it has a very David Lynchian quality. Don't you agree?
absolutely.
I think you're making a lot out of it.
Yeah. Well, here's to the Shooz.
Great job,
The
Frank.
Shooz, way to
Special
go.
To the Shooz.
What a wonderful story of a great band.
To the Shooz.
But it's not over.
Oh, it's not over.
Oh wait.
Oh,
there's
good.
more.
It's not over.
Sorry.
They're
You've,
hoping, but no.
Oh, sorry.
This
Okay,
is the
there's more.
second part of the schedule.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
here we go.
yeah,
The
it's
agenda.
also
Oh, I
Microsoft,
didn't. I should
Oh,
have checked the
schedule.
agenda.
Tell the affiliates we're going to run long.
Okay.
So
3-hour tour.
A lot of sponsors behind this thing right now.
So look at these greasy nerds, and these greasy nerds thought,
No,
hey,
how sweet.
let's form a band and perform live in front of the new high school we're about to attend. How many people were
What
at East
the
Collegiate?
hell were we thinking?
It was like 2,000 kids, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Let's
and then
form
we
a
realized
band.
it was really Paul
Thing. Look at
who
that
put the
job.
whole thing together. Look at him.
He looks
Those
like his
are the
sons.
classic Paul Lobes.
I'm wearing a motorcycle helmet though. It looks like I'm wearing one of those chopper helmets.
Paul in his mind, I think, believed that we could create Beatlemania and have all the girls at Easter Collegiate basically become our devoted fans.
You know what the only obstacle was? Was that it was the greatest volume of music ever produced in the pop world. Learning that was a little bit of an obstacle.
We kind of took a shortcut, if you remember. Because you can recall, none of us could actually play guitar or bass or drums. This was the extent of our musical heritage. Paul and I did play the tuba. That's not a joke. Well, kind of. It's a joke on us. But
Frank and I, honest to God, and those of you that may have been around in '77 in Kitchener at the Center in the Square, we won the Kiwanis
all tens of
Festival for best bass tuba players.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we got a standing ovation.
It's
The
amazing.
only ever for tuba playing.
And we were a little drunk that day.
Tom had the most musical heritage. He
We were
played
like
trumpet,
alcoholic tuba players.
he played trumpet, and the sexiest of all instruments, the accordion.
Well, I would agree. Who played the accordion?
Tom.
I did.
Okay.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, see, you
Cool.
knew
I still
appreciation.
have this accordion too.
And
Very
both
cool.
Paul and Tom, and later Bill, we learned, did Greek dancing.
There's the Greek dancing in the middle. That is
Bill.
Wow.
cute.
Yeah, so that's what we had to go on. So we immediately rushed to the pawn shops and laid down some serious cash for us and bought some instruments. And we said, who needs to know how to read music as long as we have tablature? And we wore that stupid Beatles book out,
Wow.
cover to cover, until the paper was falling out. And
I
I
still
love
remember
love
my
that-
guitar cost
this is-
exactly $108 when I bought it.
Yeah.
108. It was very weird.
68 Supra.
In today's dollars, it's $108. This is the extent of our musical knowledge. If you look carefully, it identifies the strings as thinnest string and thickest string. And that's how I remember it.
That's
We needed a drummer, and Bill was our good friend all the way through junior high and high school. He was part of our creative group, but we had to connive to convince him to buy the most expensive part of band, the drum kit.
Drums.
And the sweetheart that he was, he actually went along and got a drum kit. He became our drummer.
Great guy.
And it took a lot, if you recall. Bill practicing his drums at home was not the easiest thing. So even before we learned music, we had to develop a look. So
that comes first.
this
We
is
did a lot of tests.
we couldn't pull off the Nero jackets or or the tight suits. So Paul created talent. So Paul created this. Does everybody have a white shirt? Yes. Does everybody have white pants? No. But white shirt and white pants were the painter pants were big in the early 80s. So
in
that was
fairness, Frank, you told me to dress like that because you won the election. You were the president of the school at the time, based on that slogan, "Get the knack," and we were kind of dressing like the knack at the time.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, that's right. We were emulating the knack. And narrow ties, which have come in and out of style about 5 times since then. We had to wear the narrow red ties, and
yes.
We still have ours, I think.
And torso corsets.
Say that 5 times.
Yeah.
Now, you can't tell this because it's in black and white, but the windbreaker that I'm wearing is, of course, slightly beige because that was how it was. And I leaned in this guy's car for the photograph, and he came out and chased me away.
Aww.
You ran scared.
What the heck?
Paul developing the look. He thought we should all be slightly scary when we perform.
Yeah, that works.
Looks like, actually, this after we gained some traction, we had this great photo shoot. My wife actually took these pictures,
wow.
Dimitra, and I love these pictures because they were actually turned out really well and captured the kind of the sweet spirit that we had. This is my favorite shot because everything's a phallic symbol in this game.
I look so pissed.
See, now you can't look at this picture and not see that, right?
No, you can't.
So,
It can't be.
No, I
it
have
can't
to
be
look.
unseen.
I'm not looking at the screen anymore.
But you look
Playing a
dangerous.
short scale guitar.
Tom.
You are playing a short scale guitar.
Tom looks dangerous.
You look
That's what
dangerous.
I think.
You're completely dangerous.
What's going
Tom.
on? You know what? I also have. I don't know if should we listen to some of the recording at this point, or you want to see
Oh,
that for
jeez.
later?
Yeah, sure.
Why not? That would be nice.
see, to us, it sounds like torture.
You
But go
guys
ahead.
recorded too a little bit.
A little bit of vintage audio of the Shooz. This is very rare, folks. This is being a special treat.
So
We launched a lawsuit against the Beatles with this song. Tom found a way to predate it.
Yeah, retroactively impose copy. We lost.
I'm amazed.
Yes,
I thought you would have had it in the bag.
Where did you
It went
record
quickly,
this?
too.
We recorded this in the boys' change room at our high school.
That's another show.
You know that story about was it the Only Living Boy in New York, where they sung it in a Simon and Garfunkel sang it in
Station.
in a stairwell or something. Yeah,
yeah.
we went to a stinking washroom when you circulated it.
Yeah.
They now have a They now have a plaque on it. Said the Shooz recorded here.
Yes, yes, right next to the hand sanitizer.
Yeah. That's just
So,
listen. That's
There's
weird.
getting more. There's so much more of the story to tell. Yeah. We actually at this is a good point, a good segue into the playing of the music because we actually learn music
Right.
form. Yeah, and this is
Yeah,
confusing.
pick instruments.
I don't know why I'm playing bass in this first picture. We were very confused. I thought I was playing guitar. I think. But we actually got it together. We put together, minutes of material that we could play, and as long as there was a C major chord, I could fake it, so that was fine. We developed the archetypes, just like the Beatles had their archetypes, the funny one and the cute one. We had ours. So know your
planned. Yeah, everything was planned.
Yeah. See, Tom developed this psychotic the character that he played, so he was the angry shoe. I, of course, was the insecure shoe. I don't know why, but I became the insecure shoe.
So
Bill, of course, was the actual good-looking shoe, and Paul was the one who thought he was the good-looking.
That was cute. Well,
there's somebody asking a question right now. There, Steve Karijanakis is asking, do you have any comment? Do you have any comment regarding the recent settlement of your decades-long court battle with the Ruddles regarding who plagiarized who in the plagiarism of the Beatles? Did that case
no, and I
travel
don't
through the
want to
courts?
really go into that right now because of the press on it and the judge And because we're fighting, we're contesting the judge. I think the guy is completely out to lunch.
If Demetra's listening to this, can she run in with the signed picture of the Ruddles that we have, proving that Eric Idle gave us permission to perform? If she has that, she can run in at any time. I'll present it.
Okay.
And
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks for the
Shout
question,
out to
Steve.
So clear things up. If
Bring
there's
that very painful memory up. Speaking of painful memories, we actually got around to performing.
So sorry, just put one other comment I have to say. My sister from Winnipeg, Paul, thinks you look like a Greek Vulcan.
ooh,
Yes.
that's
Actually,
a big compliment.
There's
Still
a connection there. I find that, you know, the deeper you get into the Greek culture, the more Vulcan-like it is.
Only because
Actually, Klingon. Sorry, more
look at
Klingon.
that.
Demetra. Hi,
Oh, hi,
Demetra.
Demetra.
Oh,
To answer Paul,
Hi, Demetra.
Yeah, we can see that.
oh, yeah, we can see it.
Did get the Ruddles' permission.
There it is.
It's
Look at that.
You did.
You
did. Proof
Yeah.
positive. Well,
So-
Steve, that answered that question.
So
That's
live.
why, Steve, we can't talk about it. And now Frank has put our key piece of evidence up on the screen, which is going to screw the whole
Bye.
court case.
Exhibit
Demetra.
A.
And we're going to
Exhibit
lose
A.
all the
We're gonna
Beatles
blow
money.
it up, buddy.
Yeah.
Just that close to getting in front of Paul McCartney in line for the rights to the Beatles song.
So I only have a couple dozen more slides. So
Yeah, that's okay. We'll keep going.
Get to the charts, Frank.
This actually performed. We managed to
So yeah, we did perform.
lift up and get in front of first tens, and then maybe hundreds of people, and two pretty well received concerts and one really terrible concert. But we managed to develop a fan base. So they're
Wow.
and today, what Steve is our I think president of our fan club.
There was a group of girls in the 80s that dressed like girls in the late 60s that were
Yeah.
quite interested in us.
Yeah.
Cheer. We did manage to reach the pinnacle of our career by appearing on the Ed Sullivan Show, but there was a bit of a caveat. Paul, can you explain?
Ed Sullivan was dead by then.
Yeah, for 6 years.
Yeah, so
That would do it.
It was an interesting situation, and again, we were doing some doctoring,
Mhm,
but
sorry.
I don't want to get into that right now again. because of the
We
government.
did actually record an album. This is the Rouge album.
The Rouge album.
And it was, we had so much material. It was actually a vinyl, but it was smaller than a 45. It was about the size of a quarter. Because that's all the material that we could muster together.
This was around the time of the metric system. That's why Frank called it Rouge.
The Rouge, right.
Yeah. It's the metric spelling of red. So this is post Shooz now. We've gone our separate ways, and Paul already described his post Shooz project. I did some modeling, and I went into producing a progressive rock album just briefly. Speaking of progressive rock, Tom did form a band afterwards, played just Yes music with his top hat, and briefly went into politics for a while.
That woman keeps popping up, sorry.
We toyed with this. We actually launched it, but it closed really quickly. A musical version of Brokeback Mountain that Tom and I produced.
Well, sure.
It really failed hard. So it's fun to do, though.
The later years.
Yeah.
So before
the nude scenes weren't fun.
before we go to 20 years after the Shooz, Steve has one more question. So
Right.
it's apparently there's
Is it a legal question again, Steve?
No,
It's a
no,
legal
it- no,
question.
no,
He's
no.
an engineer too. That's the thing.
No, this is a fan question.
Okay.
It's regarding the breakup of the Shooz, and there's apparently two theories and two rumors that are running wild.
Oh.
One is it was due to the constant presence of a girlfriend at the time, who's now the spouse, that precipitated at all the rehearsals that broke up the band. So that was rumor one. Rumor two is
Oh, no.
apparently there was a
Oh, no,
teacher
sideboard.
who got out of hand, fainting as you entered classes and following you home after school. So the school caused you to disband because it was creating chaos in the classroom. So one of those two was the reason.
It was not
Thanks,
publicized.
Steve.
It was not publicized that Dimitri and I were married when we were 15. So I was the only married Shoo.
Okay.
and it caused issues with our female fan base. We had to keep a tight lid on it. And yeah, I guess it caused a little bit of friction.
And it was arranged by me as a joke on Dimitra.
And that's how she would describe it too.
So which brings us actually to the story of Vodka Drinkin Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ahead in your mind 20 years after that. And so we actually, if you recall, it was the year 2000, and we got into our flying cars and visited Tom. It was over the holidays, so we only had Paul for a few days, and we visited Tom.
This is how we think with the arrow on Tom's apartment.
Yeah, so just to differentiate it from everybody else's apartment.
Where does Tom live? There, right there.
Yeah.
And the arrow is not Photoshop. It's like sticking out of the building.
I'm here, guys.
Tom had a room. Tom had a bit of a collection.
Similar to the room that he's in now.
Yeah.
Where he had literally everything. Tom, do you have a 12-inch reflecting telescope? Yes, I do. And you reach over.
Newtonian or Schmidt-Cassegrain?
Yeah. And do you have the spinal column for the now extinct herbivore dinosaur that roamed Alberta in the Cretaceous period?
Crustacean?
That's a lot of detail. As an example, you went over.
So he pulled out
like a dinosaur thing.
He pulled out a whole mixing board and instruments, and we said, let's write a song. We've never written an original song. And we sat down, actually laid down. We followed the Prince method of songwriting. We all got into bed with our instruments, guitars, and we started writing. Again,
it's a 4-bedroom condo.
being on the spectrum, we kept every scrap of paper we ever scribbled on. And here are the actual lyrics to Vodka Drinkin Woman that we wrote out 20 years ago. And you see the progression that we edited out, and that's the exact date that we finished the song.
December 2000. Wow.
And as luck would have it, Paul
brought it to
luck
the.
Would have it. We've been playing that song a lot since then, and we finally got a chance to record it. And this is why it's such an honor to have you guys on the show. So. We brought home the lyrics and applied some great work by Rob and Sylvia, particularly Sylvia on this track. There's some inspiration going on there with the piano. You listen to it at the beginning, and Rob's guitar playing. But we also brought Junior Malik into the track, and he's terrific, amazing. He was on the show last week, and Johnny Sauter is on the track, and he really created a great dynamic for the tune and just had it right in the pocket, which is what is important about a tune like this when you're referencing some really great lyrics, which Frank and Tom wrote. So this is the release of this tune tonight from our new CD record online thing. Which you can get download a free copy for 15 seconds after this. And so I'd like to raise up a glass of vodka for those of you that aren't driving, and salute Frank and Tom and thank them for being on the show. And let's roll this, and let's roll this right now. And we can...
take a ride home with my baby by my side. You know I'll never roam.
Thank you. That's thank you for that inspirational words to that song. You guys are fabulous. Thank you.
You know, it's really rewarding because you know, after all of these years, we couldn't record back then because of the legal troubles, but after all these years, we could, in an indirect way, we got to record a tune that we worked on together, and it's like magical. And, you know, for me, I cried a little bit during the video, especially with the dog. I thought that was cruel. But whatever.
Those are some great stories, guys. Thank you so much. And for the inspiration on that song.
So, Paul,
thanks so much for having us.
Apparently the Shooz had a pretty heavy-duty rider to appear tonight.
I had to work really hard to get this for you guys. So we went through the contracts. We tried to convince them to sign one contract together. Frank wouldn't have it because he's married, and his situation, he needed to keep it separate. Tom, on the other hand, wanted also to have a separate rider too because of his specific needs. So I made arrangements to get you, Frank, as per your request, a fully functional communicator, which is several notches below a contemporary cell phone.
Thank you.
And that's waiting for you in the green room.
All right.
Thank you.
And Tom, I thought yours was frivolous, but I did it anyway. I arranged for a woman using special lighting to do the thing that Wilma Flintstone does when they see Fred and Barney in the jazz bar, and they're trying to discourage people from watching the show, where they do that box
square
thing in the air, and they say square, and they spread a rumor. But I did it with special lights, and I had it arranged from Disney, and I had it flown in, and it's waiting for you.
That takes talent to do that live.
Yeah.
It's a performance thing.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm going to take 2 seconds. I have to acknowledge our compatriot, fellow traveler, dear friend, Peter Steen, also a huge Beatles fan. He actually, the Ruddles coaster and the Revolver coaster behind me is courtesy of Peter. So thank you to him.
Fantastic.
Hey, Pete.
Thanks, guys.
So
Thanks,
guys.
So much fun.
We're gonna have a drink after the show. You can go to the green
see you
room.
then.
Okay.
Tom, I did get 3 little bowls of cocaine.
I have posted the link for the free download. I did it around 9:19.
Okay.
It does say though that somehow Facebook and YouTube may not be able to see it. So Sylvia, right after the show, we'll have to figure that out.
Okay.
Twitch apparently can see it, and Twitter can see it, but I'm not sure what happened to Facebook and YouTube.
Give it to our lawyers.
Yeah, what the lawyers will do with it.
The lawyers will deal with it. Let's lawyer up. I love saying that. Let's lawyer up.
Tom, do we have time for a quick kiss, Tom?
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh, guys.
Aww.
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful. Friends to the end.
That says it all.
Good night, guys. Thanks. We'll see you after
Good
the
night.
show.
Oh, look at that. Oh, we just need some volume there, don't we?
Is this when they appeared?
This is when they actually appeared. Wow, this really
Yeah.
happened.
We can skip that
Aw.
because
There's
of the legal thing.
Because
Yeah, and that's not photoshopped.
it's not
I don't
photoshopped
know
at
why.
all.
What prompted me to say that?
That's too bad about the volume. Maybe we can
Yeah.
roll. We can roll that a little
There was
later.
no volume. It was a kind of an
Was it a
experiential
silent one?
thing at the time. Yeah, sweating like hogs.
This
Hogs
was
in that
when they were
change room.
doing the
We
Shooz.
briefly toured as the Husky Boys, just the two of us.
It was because of all the steak sandwiches, leftover steak sandwiches. Okay, let's move on now. Okay, enough is enough.
Thank you guys. Thanks Frank. Thanks Tom.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have experienced
the
the
shoes.
shoes. And
Great, guys.
what's the next segment, Sylvia?
Well, I think we were ready to roll the lowdown, Paul.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, it's Paul. It's about basis. It's Paul's
yes.
time to do the basis.
We've got some. I think he's got a lot of content lined up.
I think
if
he's got
can
tons of
recall. Yeah,
content.
Yeah. Let's see. There we go. Oh, what?
What's that all about?
I want to get into it tonight.
Okay.
I don't know how to bring people closer to the base than to send this message out tonight. Look at this picture.
The bass lover.
It makes you want to jump right in there.
Yeah, it does.
It wants to,
does.
you want to learn a basic 1/4.
Yeah, that's true. Like this stuff.
Yeah, that pretty well has got most of the bass action that I've experienced with you, Paul.
I'm a revolutionary. I'm trying to elevate the instrument.
Well,
There's no volume. I don't know what.
Well,
we
so-
could probably cover a little more.
no, Sylvia.
Yeah.
No, we're hit our time.
Oh.
We've
No,
actually run
let's,
out of time.
Let's get into some of the techniques right now.
No.
You
Paul,
promised
Paul.
me, Rob, that
No,
we
no.
would
Oh
do
no, we've
this.
got to pack up.
No,
We gotta
gotta pack up.
No,
Yeah,
let's-
that's right.
I'm getting the feeling that this is messed up.
Good day. At least Tom and Frank are here to help this time. And your banjo, Ron.
Call the lawyer, Rob. And have you pay for the lawyer that's going to sue you.
Thanks, everybody. We're going to get that free music lined up for you so that everybody can access it tonight.
We're the Water Street Blues Band. You've been watching Talkin About Live, coming at you every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Don't forget, next week, we're going to start showing highlights from our first 10 shows, but we'll also be on live to introduce those highlights and interpret them for you. Paul will do interpretive dance. Sylvia will do macrame. And I have a series of hand puppets that I would like to show and explain the program with.
Sounds
I'll
good.
be broadcasting from the Starship Enterprise in my head.
Good night, folks. Thanks for tuning
Night.
in. We'll figure out this download situation, so watch.
Ciao, baby.
Ciao.
Ciao.